With me, Chris Voak, and winners continue to roll in for Chris. 88 winners so far this season in the pink cart, and you're in top form on the weekend. A double at good prices at Bunbury on Saturday evening.
Yeah, it was. Bunbury was a great night, actually. Two horses I thought had good chances, and both saluted at good odds. So very pleased.
And you've got plenty of drives at Gloucester Park on Friday night, the 9-event card. And one of the horses that I'm really interested in is a former very smart young horse in Space Junk. He's reappearing after quite a long absence. And Chris, Space Junk has drawn barrier 6 in race 3. It's a 21-30 metre race. He'll be first up for about 10 months. What's been his problem?
Well, after his, I think it was the Golden Nugget he was in, it was only a few months after that, he actually fractured his pelvis at home in jog work, and it put him on the sidelines, box rest and paddock rest for a period of time. But, he's over it all now, shown no signs of any ailments from that. And I suppose when the horses get injury like that, or like he did, the fact that his rump muscled back up like there was no problem, I think was the big plus. And
it could have been the end of his career.
Yeah, well, it could be. But I think if you start looking at injuries, I'd probably rather have what he had on the pelvis as opposed to tendons and suspensories. As soon as you start getting tissue damage, that can be career-ending. This could have been, but everything looks like it's healed well, and he's measuring up well. We're hopeful he'll return to be the horse that we thought he was going to be.
Well, he's got a good record. I think 21 starts for 11 wins, 5 placings. And at his last preparation, he had 4 starts for 3 wins in the second. Before he got injured, he was certainly in wonderful form. And I remember his great run when he ran second in the Group 2 in the 4-year-old championship.
And I was disappointed with the run that night. I really was. I thought he was capable. I think, he was on the end of a tough campaign. And look, it was credible, but I believe the horse was up to Summer Carnival features, and look, his campaign, short campaign, last prep again was below his best. Even though he won at 1, 2, or 3, it was still below his best. And Ross has taken it slow and steady with him this prep. But that being said, he's had a lot of hard work under his belt at home, and probably more so than what Ross would usually do with him. Probably so that, Ross is confident he's got him somewhere to be very competitive first up.
I think he will be very competitive, even out from barrier 6. Chris, you start the program in the night. You had the choice between Mr. Versace drawn 4 and El Hombre drawn 10 at the inside of the back line.
Simply barrier draw. Mr. Versace was excellent last start. I know it was a big drop in grade for him, but the way in which he won was impressive. So, and he's done a great job to get. I think he's probably, maybe this hard run he'll be back to his peak, but he's not far off because he won very easy on the Tuesday. I won on him, but purely barrier draw. El Hombre has been working up with Space Junk. Whoever leads out of those two have been going pretty well at the track. So, again, El Hombre's coming back from a layoff, and perfect draw.
So you'll stick with El Hombre, who's drawn the inside of the back line?
Yeah. Well, behind King of Swing, Vincenzo Peruggia, there's your leader on Breeze Horse. I think it's a safe bet for him. He should be good welcome back to racing for El Hombre, I think.
Later on in the program, we go down to race 4. You've had a bit of fun with Back to the Beach, another one racing extremely well for the Ross Oliveri camp, and he's drawn nicely at barrier 2 in a 21-30 metre event.
Tough field. It is a tough field. There's some pretty damn good horses in it.
But you beat, you finished second. You beat Caviar Star 2 starts ago. And so Caviar Star's no slouch. And before that, you won from There You Go from the Breeze.
Yeah, I think, you've got Tack Major. I'd expect him to be hard to beat. Herrick Roosevelt goes all right. But Tack Major, I think last week he sat behind Chicago Bull. I think the fact that he was travelling good enough to pull off Chicago Bull's back at the 450, that would say he's probably somewhere near his top, I would think. So this looks
a winning form.
Yeah, I think Churrascuro will probably have too much gate speed early. Tend to find the 2 wins I did have on Back to the Beach. never really used him early, and he was strong the last 1200. So still a good race for him. He's not without his chance, but very good field. And I think probably 80% of that field could probably take the race out and win without surprising.
Chris, the big races, the $50,000 Breeders' Stakes, and you had the choice between two mares who are racing extremely well in Captured Delight, who's drawn 4, and Veiled Secret, who's drawn 8. Both those mares must have pleased you in their last couple of runs.
Captured Delight has, certainly. I thought she was unlucky to miss out in the stand race last week. I actually said to Ross, I think if she drew well on the front line, I'd consider driving her over Veiled Secret last time. But, Ross did say to me, he said, look, this Veiled Secret's pretty well where she needs to be. And
which way are you going, Chris?
Captured Delight. But bad draws, like 8 and 9 is Ross's two. Veiled Secret, was she 9 or 8?
8.
Tough from out there.
Talking about tough, Vulton 10, no horses racing tougher than Vulton 10. He's in a 1730-metre event this week, drawn 3, only 6 runners. I presume you'll be going forward and you'll be happy to see outside the leader.
I don't know about that. I've gone forward the last few times and been criticised for it. So, that's where he does his best racing. He's won most races from up outside him. But it's only, I don't like he's good over the mile and he's been strong running his 53s, 54s, but him in a small field's not that brilliant for him, Like, you look at that and there's not one horse. Maybe the 2, I'd like it to set the pace for us.
Majestic Star, yeah.
But you look at the rest of them, I don't think either. Maybe Louis Alberto, but he's generally been going better set up. So a lot of those horses aren't going to want to be involved early. So
you might have to do the work.
And if that happens, we're sitting duck for the sitting kickers. So he'd have to be at his best, I think, even though it's not the strongest race for him than what he's raced, but yeah, it's small field. I don't like that.
Then in the race 7, Ruling Gold, off the 10-metre mark, an 8-year-old. He entered a losing sequence of 16 when he ran on and beat Mr. Spot at Bunbury. Mr. Spot's a pretty good horse, so for Ruling Gold to win, that was a good effort. And the previous week he ran 3rd behind Vincenzo Perugia and Balin Jet at Pinjarra.
Yeah, he's he was just off fitness-wise, and he ran a 4th at Bunbury, which tightened him up. Another hard hopple run, and he was tightened up again with another race start. So in my opinion, he's at the top of his game, now. I don't think there's a whole lot more improving in him. And step good. And if he's in the first half of the field on a helmet, he'll be lethal the last 200.
And then you finish up the program, the last couple, with a couple more of Ross Oliveri's horses, Frosty Flyer and Kid Colossus. Neither of them are champions.
No, well, Frosty Flyer, he's a real, I was driving him and I just don't. He promises to the world and gives you an atlas. That's the feeling he gives. And look, he'll have to be driven soft, but not beyond him to win that race. Not beyond him to win that. And Kid Colossus, he was probably a good run last start for him. Midas Touch looks hard to beat, I think, but yeah, Frosty Flyer, I wouldn't write him off.
What do you reckon, out of all those drives at this early stage, which one would you like to put your finger on?
I like Space Junk, and maybe I'm a bit biased. I thought he was, when he first got into Ross's stable, I thought he was going to be my summer carnival horse and win some good races. So I'm sticking with him.
All the best of luck on a very busy Friday night, Chris.
Yeah, it's been actually the last few Fridays have been a bit bleak. Needed to start doing a bit more PR work, I think.